Hello and welcome to the third video in how to draw British birds during the coronavirus lockdown. And today we're going to draw a bird that you're unlikely to see through your window unless you live out in the countryside somewhere, and that's a barn owl. But barn owls are really popular. I want to try and teach people to draw something that looks a bit like this, the barn owl's face. Because obviously a barn owl, the whole thing's quite complicated. So here we go. It's going to be as quick as possible. So we're going to give an oval, a flattened oval. Keep it nice and light using a hard pencil, as we've done before. And then into this oval, I'd like you to draw a bit of a squashed heart. It'll sort of make sense to you once you've drawn the entire heart. That's supposed to be a heart there. Hopefully you can see the very squashed version of it I've just drawn. About halfway through that shape, draw yourself a circle. Don't worry too much about the size of it, but what I've drawn there is about right. Add a nice top eyelid, and I'm going to make some a little bit steepy, so I'm going to close that a little bit, and I'm going to add a cheek in, like so, and hopefully you're seeing an owl shape already. If you want to add an owl on the other side, you can do, although that's not strictly necessary, and these eyes should be in line. Take a line from the bottom of the cheek and faintly etch in, like so, so we've got like a nose shape, and then along that shape I'm just going to add what's going to be, in a few minutes time, the beak. So already we've got an owl shape beginning to show up. Now we're going to add in the forehead. Well, the forehead of the owl extends. The only thing I could really say it might look a little bit like is a bit like a lion's mane. I don't know why every time I see a barn owl that's the thing I kind of imagine. And so all I've done is put a big scoop in from the forehead with a little bit of a curve perhaps at the end, like so. Scoop in to form a kind of hairy chin at the front. We're going to put a wing in at the back, two lines, this one approximately in the middle, and then we need to add a front wing. And we're pretty much there. That's pretty much our owl in the offing. May want to just correct a few of the lines. Okay, so with a B pencil, black pencil, I'm going to start drawing in my lines. I is always the first thing I start with. I think you already know that. And remember to add, or to leave I should say, a tiny little wet bit in the middle of the eye. I shade out from the eye with an owl to try and give it some depth. And add the nose in with really scribbly lines, because this is a really feathery part of the owl's face. And at the centre of that heart, I'm going to start to make the rims to these facial discs. I'm going to be really quite scruffy on those because they're made up of quite scruffily edged feathers, like so. And for me, all I'm doing is doing scallopy shapes, and I'm going to make it a bit straighter here, interlocking these scallopy shapes, and then I'm going to curve round and underneath the face, maybe put a little bit on the side. And I'm going to make that quite a thick scalloping, and that's just lots of upside down U's and N's and shapes like that. And you've probably seen me draw before, it's quite scruffy. And we'll just add that bit of an eye in there. Can't see much of it obviously because our owl is looking away from us. And now I'm going to add a killer beak, but I'm not going to put very much of it in because you can't actually see much of the killer beak of an owl. It keeps it hidden away. Make sure that we've got a back facial disc. Now we need to make this disc feel like it is a facial disc, so a little bit of shading here, but every line now that I'm going to draw is going to be facing down, or moving down I should say, so that it points into the centre of the eye. So that gives it that kind of facial disc. Everything is directing into the eye, and people mistakenly used to think that the face of an owl is trying to get light into the eye. That's not true, because in reality the facial disc is trying to get sound into the ear of the owl, and the ears are at the back here and here, and that's how owls can be so accurate when they're hunting. The facial discs are not for vision, they're for sound collection. Right, and scruffy bib, and I'm going to make sure that I shade underneath, and now I'm actually going to give a scruffy back to the head, and brilliant, we're getting there. Now I want to emphasise the forehead, because the forehead does come out slightly like so, and then the shape of it, I'm going to put some lines that kind of go back, add into this lion's mane idea of owl. And these are lovely soft feathers in real life. Of course, owls have lots of soft feathering on them, because they've got to be silent when they're in the air, and the only way they can be silent is through soft, not hard feathers. They've got lots of little black, white, silvery grey and khaki brown spots, and these are random, so don't worry about being too exact, but notice everything is an arc going away from the face. So there's the head of our owl, most definitely, and let's now add some feathers with some shading underneath them each time. Not putting any detail in, these are really soft, downy feathers, and the funny thing is that people are conned into believing there's detail just by adding a few dots that move in the direction of the feathering. So here we go, few dots, few dots, few dots. Shade it in where obviously the body is underneath. We're going to be a bit artistic here, and we're not going to finish our owl off. But except for the fact we can add a tiny bit more shading here and around about to emphasise some key points to our face. I think in just a couple of minutes, from memory, we have produced a picture of a barn owl. That's how easy it is. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying drawing birds, and I hope you have fun drawing yourself a barn owl.